to The Upside of You with Brian Hill, and I am Brian Hill. We're having fun here tonight prior to the shoot here, and we're just laughing, so I hope you guys join us and laugh along with us. We're having a really great time. The show, The Upside of You, is all about you. What I focus on is the positive side of beingness, being you. And I use a tool called Astrology to do that. I am an astrologer. I have clients literally around the world, and I do readings with them and consultations in many ways. And tonight I'm going to talk about the moon and the process of what the moon means in our life from astrology. And we're going to get into looking at all the different signs and in depth what's going on with the moon. And here in the studio, my partner to my left, who's off screen, is Leanne. Hello, Leanne.
Hello, Brian.
And
everyone.
And George is over here on the right. So you'll hear people, and we'll be laughing and having a good time, hopefully. You could call in. I really advise you to call in, and if you know your birth date, that's really all I need tonight. I don't need to know your time of birth, but if you have that, you could give that to us as well. So if you want to know what your moon sign is, or you just have any questions that you want to ask, I could pull it up on the computer. I could do a little mini session for you, and that's what we've been doing on the shows, and people have been calling, and we've really been having fun and a good time with it. You could call in. Oh, I want to give you the number. It's area code 941-706-7905, and that might be on your screen over there to the left. If you want to get a hold of me off screen, my email address is bhwhale, B-H-W-H-A-L-E, @yahoo.com. And we've been, from the past weeks, we've been using different planets, and we've been really showing how the planets have an effect in our lives. Now, a lot of people don't think that they do. And they say, how could a planet way up there have anything to do with us way down here? Well, I think of the sun, all right? The sun's rays we feel every single day. The sun's rays comes from 92 million miles away, and we don't think about it. We don't have a second thought about it. We expect the sun to be up. Well, the sun is 100,000 times the size of the Earth, so it's this massive ball of energy. The other planets aren't as big, obviously, as the sun. Jupiter is the largest in our solar system, excuse me, and it's 12 times the size of the Earth. So it's not even clearly near that. So the sun's rays send it for 92 million miles, and the other planets also are sending down a frequency, but they're not as strong. And so they're very subtle and very fine, and science can't touch them, count them, feel them, etc. So science says they don't exist. And I, as an astrologer, liken planets, including the moon, even though the moon is not considered a planet, I consider them big utility companies in the sky, and they all have jobs to do. And we've been talking about the various jobs that various planets have to do, and today I want to talk about the moon, the importance of the moon. We're very much aware of when the moon is full. We're learning more and more about that. When the moon is full, police departments put on more policemen. Hospitals put on more people on their staffs. There's something very powerful about the moon's effect upon our body, and we know for sure that the moon affects tides. I mean, this is just science that we know. Yeah, and so when the moon is full, it affects the tide, it affects us. Why does it affect us? Well, if it affects a big body of water like the Gulf of Mexico, for instance, we are 70% water or better. So why wouldn't it affect our little body that's going on in here? So the moon, we kind of know how the moon works in some respects for us. And tonight I'm going to tell you how the moon works in a different way. Planets, like I just said, are big utility companies in the sky, and they also function as part of our psyche. Like, for instance, Mercury is how we think, Venus is how we love, Mars is how we act, etc. And the moon is what the moon's symbolism in astrology is. The moon's symbolism is our emotion. All right, what the moon really has to do with, it rules our emotions. It also rules our subconscious. and it rules the moon. Think of the moon as a feminine energy. The moon rules the relationship that we've had with our mother, especially when we were in the womb. So by looking at your chart, by understanding what your chart is and understanding where the sign is, and I'll explain what sign is to in a minute, we could tell a lot about your subconscious, a lot about your emotion. And the subconscious has more to do with who we are than we think. Everybody knows our sun sign. Not many people know our moon sign, but we operate more off our moon sign until we grow into our sun sign. It's a very subtle but very powerful energy field that goes within all of us. And I wanted to get to the sign just in case. What the sign is, what a sign is. Just take your sun sign, for instance. You know what your sun sign is. Well, what does that mean? You're an Aries, you're a Taurus, you're whatever. Well, on the day that you were born, the sun was in a particular place in the sky. And that particular place, if you were an Aries, was in an Aries location. So picture the sun having a pair of sunglasses on. And the sunglasses act as a filter that hold the characteristics and traits of an Aries. So when you look out into life, you look at it as an Aries. Well, the moon operates in the same way. On the moment that you were born, the moon was in a particular place in the sky, and it's being filtered in one of those 12 signs as well. I'm getting feedback. I'm getting resonance. Okay. And we have a caller coming in, and I'll take the caller in just a second. But I want to just finish where I am in this. So on the moment of your birth, right, the moon was in a particular place, just like the sun was, right? And we have a choice of 12 different moon signs. Unlike the sun sign, which changes monthly, okay, the moon sign changes every 2.5 days. Think of the phases of the moon changing quickly. So the moon is a very, very important part of our subconscious and a part of our life, and I'll give you some other stuff. But right now, I have a caller. I want to take the caller and run the chart of the caller. Hello?
Hi.
Is this Gail?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Gail. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. What I'm going to do, everybody, I'm going to have a computer over here, and I'm going to run Gail's chart, and then we're going to talk about whatever you want to talk about, Gail. Okay? Does that work for you?
Sounds wonderful. Thank you.
And Brian, Gail called into my show earlier. Do you remember Gail?
Okay. Now I have you. Okay. What I'm looking at, just bear with this a second.
Okay.
And I see that you were born in Monterey, California.
Yes, I was.
And you're calling from where now?
Connecticut.
Where in Connecticut?
Oh, God.
In Meriden, between Hartford and New Haven.
And I had to think, because we're in Florida. What are we in? We're in the springtime. Is it spring there?
Yeah. Yeah. Everything's blooming. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. That's what we miss down here is that spring.
Are you kidding? We get spring. We've had the pollen has been really intense.
We
Gail.
get pollen. She gets flowers.
You know, I have to remind Brian that we live in a tropical environment, and there are flowers on a 24/7 basis. He just doesn't see them sometimes. I'm like,
well, we've had Mother Earth in her total glory this spring. It's been absolutely a delight.
oh, how wonderful.
Nice.
You know, go ahead.
Gail, have you had your astrology chart looked at before?
I look at it occasionally, but I don't know what to do with it.
Well, that's okay. When I didn't even believe in it before I started looking at it myself. How do you spell Monterey?
Monterey.
That's all right.
Did I spell it wrong?
No, you spelled it right.
Are you second guessed us?
No, never.
Thank you, Gail.
I've learned not to. All right. Just for a discussion that we're talking about tonight before we get into anything deeper. Gail, your moon, you know that you're a sun sign Scorpio. You're very much aware of that.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I'm very aware.
Your moon sign, however, is Gemini. All right? So your sense of feeling, if I ask you how you feel, how do you feel right now? What you're going to do is think about it before you tell me how you feel.
Right.
Right? And somebody with really a water sign for a moon sign is all filled with feelings, right? But your moon sign is in Gemini. Gemini is very quick. Your mind is quick and bright and fast, right? And it goes very fast. Now, what does the mind have to do with the moon? Well, Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury, and Mercury then is along with the moon. So believe me, you're very subconsciously smart. There isn't too many things that you can't learn, right? Now, is there a particular thing that you? Oh, I think if I recall from the show earlier, all right, you were. Let me get this straight. What you were doing? You were promoting people, right?
Yeah, I do promoting, some spiritual people to come here in the New England area. I have the shamans from Peru to come in, and some other people coming in.
But refresh me a little bit, because I was doing other things when you were talking to Leanne. You're stuck, or you're not doing what you think you should be doing?
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I'm losing my home, so that's going to go. So all my attachments that I've had that we would normally take into consideration that you would do, I guess, on whatever plane.
Yes, you are losing your home.
I feel like I guess it's time for me to journey and travel.
Boy, is it. Okay, now, really, really, truly it is. There's a number of changes taking place in your life. And one of the reasons I love astrology is that the planets do a dance together. And when I see an energy of one planet doing a particular thing, I go, okay. But then I want to see where it correlates. And you were talking, and I remember this. You have a Venus, and I know we're getting off the moon, but this is important to you. You have a Venus. The day that you were born, Venus was in Capricorn. It's a 5-degree Capricorn. Pluto right now, as we're in the sky, Pluto in the sky now is 5-degree Capricorn. It won't be back in that position for over 238 years. And Pluto is all about transformation. And Pluto's in your first house. So when Pluto transits Venus like that, it really transforms your heart chakra. It transforms how you look at love. It transforms how you look at relationships. And with Pluto in the first house conjunct your Venus, it draws love to you. It draws relationship to you. One of the things that I would suggest in looking at your chart, and if this makes sense to you, I'm not saying you don't love yourself, all right? What I am saying is that you don't appreciate yourself enough. And I think these changes are taking place in your life, your home, truck, all the rest of this. It's making room for you to become your new you. All right? You have an excellent chart for networking in groups of people. An excellent chart for doing that. You also...
I like it.
Yes, you do. And you have an excellent chart for relationships. One of the things in relationship, your moon is in the 7th house. I don't know what song it is, but they sing about when the moon is in the 7th house. Your moon is in the 7th house. Aquarius, okay. All right. But your moon is in Gemini in the 7th house. And one of the things, and this doesn't have anything to do with this new person in your life, but you have to be careful that your emotional life isn't tied to the ups and downs of your partner. All right.
Well, I met the one in Peru.
Yes.
In Machu Picchu on 11/7/11. So, and he's from Germany and he's a Gemini.
Well, that I'm going to tell you. Now, this is something I was going to talk to about the moon. So let me express this. When people ask me what sign am I compatible with, what they're asking me about is their sun sign. And my answer is I am more concerned about the moon sign compatibility than I am the sun sign.
I don't know what his moon is.
Well, I don't need his moon sign because you have a connection here that goes on. Your moon sign is in Gemini. His sun sign is in Gemini. When one partner's sun sign is the same as the other person's moon sign, it's a very powerful connection. Yes, it's especially when the man's sun is equivalent to the woman's moon. His conscious mind, his male energy, all right, is the same vibratory essence as your feminine subconscious energy.
Nice.
Yes, it's very nice. It's one of the major connectors between people. All right, I don't know what all you needed to do if you knew his date of birth. We could look at a
I know
moon
his
sign.
date of birth.
Do you?
Yeah, it's 1966.
Okay, hold on a second. I gotta fly this computer again. And Mercury is in retrograde, so you're going to have to bear
Yes, I
with
know.
all of this if it's kind of goes little snafu and kaflooey. What's his date of birth again?
6/2/1966. June 2nd, 1966.
June 2nd.
June 2nd.
Okay. 66 and 2nd. Okay. What this is going to give us is the day of birth. And the day of birth, unless the moon is on a cusp and it's changing, we don't need the time. All right? So,
He's in Germany, actually.
ooh, I like this. Very good.
Yeah?
Yeah, because unless his moon is in the sign of Sagittarius. It's a good chance his moon is in the sign of Sagittarius. It might. Let me just look what time I got in here. 6 p.m. It's pretty good chance it's in the moon of Sagittarius. When I said the connection between the moon is important, his moon is in Sagittarius, and the big three on an astrology chart are the sun, the moon, and the rising sign. And your rising sign is Sagittarius, right? So his moon goes to your rising sign. Your moon goes to his sun sign. And the potency of the moon is very important. My love over here, I am a sun sign Capricorn. Leanne has a moon in Capricorn. So that's one of the connectors that we have that makes it very powerful, very knowing. I think that's the word. It's you have a sense that you know this person long before you should.
Oh, yeah.
Like you meet them for 5 minutes and you feel like you knew them forever.
Lifetime, sure.
That kind of
He said
thing.
the same thing, actually, without me even saying that.
Yes.
Gail, when I met Brian Gale, that's what I said. I've said from the very beginning. I was like, I loved him the minute I met him. I wasn't in love with him, any of that, but I immediately loved him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's totally on a different plane, but
Right.
you know what?
Oh.
okay. Do you have any other questions I could take a look at?
Just, I guess, what do I have is it just traveling, is it just transferring, is it just doing the journey and just going with the flow and
Yes.
allowing things to happen?
Now, really great. I mean, a real simple phrase that we could use is going with the flow. And it seems like, light and airy and all that other stuff. There's so much change that's going on in your chart. Your beingness is changing, first house. You have energy going into your fourth house, which is your home and your real estate. You have energy going into your career house. That's changing. Staying in your own integrity and feeling your own intuitive guidance is the best advice I could give you in a short reading like this. All right? Mercury is in retrograde. Now, I don't know when you met this man. It's in your fifth house. So with Mercury in retrograde, what you want to do is take the next few weeks and really think about how you want to have fun, be creative, and what you want in love. We have a very bad phone connection with you, is what George has just given me. So if you want to get me, my email address is bhwhale@yahoo.com, and I will continue this with you. All right? We could do it off some other phone lines. Okay? Thank you very much. Bye-bye. We have...
I need to call her, but I will get her on the phone.
Okay.
Have Elaine, who wants to talk to you, and then Pam after that.
Okay. Cool beans. We're ready to go.
Cool.
Now, let's go back to the moon again, because everybody's got one. And when you meet someone and you have a sense of knowing them real quick, it's generally the moon sign that's connecting. And the moon is, like I said, very important. Why is it very important? Because it rules the subconscious mind. Picture a pyramid, all right, and cut off the top 10% of the pyramid. Just draw a line. The top 10% of that is the conscious mind. The bottom 90% is the subconscious mind. And we as humans in this world, operate more on subconscious patterns than we do in conscious awareness. I'll say that again. We operate more on a subconscious patterns than we do conscious awareness. We just go about life. And these subconscious patterns are given to us from a number of ways. What, in theory, what the moon is thought to do, it holds the accumulation of your karma, and it holds the accumulation of your family's karma, your family of origin, and it brings in the lessons that you have to learn. What we want to do is grow from the moon into the sun, but a lot of people never get out of how they operate during the moon. Why is the moon so important? Again, another point of view. The moon subconsciously rules things that we have no awareness of. But the moon also tells me the relationship that you have with your mother. Depending upon the moon sign. Remember, you're in the moon, you're in the womb for 9 months. You are mother, we are mother, we're in that womb. So if mother, whatever mother eats, we eat, when drinks, we drink, etc. We are also in that womb feeling the vibrations, the emotional chords of mother. If mother's happy, we feel that. If mother's sad, we feel that. If mother's angry, we feel it. All right? If mother's looking forward to the birth of the baby is excited. If mother is really scared and might not want this baby feels the vibrations in this. So it's a very important thing. Now, when the baby is born, the baby comes out, by understanding where the moon is, we could actually feel the determination or determine what the mother's mood was through all of this stuff. And it really works. It really is on the money, okay, with this whole thing. So the moon, and then that sets up our number one link to the world, to the universe, is mother. So mother has a real important influence on this, obviously, we know that. But by knowing somebody's moon sign, then you could tell a whole lot about who they are. And if you are a parent, and you have children, and you are a mom, for instance, if you have 3 children, those 3 children could have 3 different moon signs, which means that your temperament and what you were going through at that particular time of birth was completely different for each child. Or they could have the same moon signs. They got a 1 out of 12 chance of this, all right? But my daughter, I'll give you an example. My daughter has her first son, and Ethan's moon is in the sign of Virgo, all right? And the moon in Virgo is very particular. And Ethan's the first child. So Virgo wants details. And my daughter kind of really spent a lot of time around Ethan, managing Ethan and making sure, and etc. And then Matthew came out, and Matthew has a moon in Gemini. So by the time my daughter understands how to do Ethan, here comes Matthew, and she's much more relaxed and easy. And Matthew has a whole different temperament. Second child's obviously do than the first, but the moon signs are different. Elaine, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you well.
Oh, good. Well, I have a question for you.
Okay.
My moon is in Pisces, and just recently, in the last 3 weeks, I've been feeling some stuff, and I thought it could be related to that because it's been feeling very heavy for me.
Yes.
And my acupuncturist told me yesterday she thought it might have something to do with some astrological things that are happening right now, and I'm just curious if you had any advice for someone with moon in Pisces at this point.
I do.
You do?
I do. Really, there's some astrological stuff that's obviously going on. Hold on, let me just see something. The moon, I'm just looking where the moon is in Leo. You're also a sun sign Aquarius.
Right.
All right. So even though the moon is not full today, you're undergoing your own personal full moon. Because as we're speaking right now, the moon is 19 degrees Leo. So 19 degrees Leo opposes your whole Aquarian lineup. So it's like you're having your own little full moon going on.
I'm looking at it right now, and it's beautiful. I'm on my deck. It's absolutely gorgeous and bright.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, let me just take a peek at it. Ooh, where'd that go?
Brian, when you say that that it's opposing her lineup, what exactly do you mean by opposing her lineup? Can you give me different language?
I just had a little computer snafu.
Look at the tabs along the top. Down further, down. There you go. Run that across.
Here?
No, see where your fingers move it up.
Right there?
click on the right tab there. It should
So
say-
Elaine, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, good. And you sound really clear on your cell phone. We were curious about that earlier.
Well, I'm outside on my deck, just
Okay.
looking up at this
Okay.
beautiful
All right.
moon. Kind of an
Yeah.
George
interesting
is
circle
going to
around
come and
it.
work.
It's really pretty.
Cool.
George is going to come and work this for me. So when I come back to it, you asked me a question. What I mean opposing it? If you think of a circle, think of a clock. All right?
Right.
And think of when I say it's opposing it. Think of your sun in Aquarius at 9 o'clock.
Right?
Think of the moon at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
So we deal with the zodiac as a circle. So what's taking place when the moon is on the same side as the sun, it's sitting right on top of the sun. So when the
Okay.
moon, it's opposing it means it doesn't mean necessarily that it's fighting
That's
it.
exactly what I was thinking.
Okay.
Was it to me? It means fighting it, and I
Yeah.
wanted to understand what you're saying.
You know, it's not a fighting it. It can conflict, but it also could complement. All right. So, but anyway, we feel it. We feel it internally. Your moon in Pisces, as you know, is very sensitive. It's very psychic. You pick up things from all over the place. Right? Now, in other place right now, Saturn is in the sign of Virgo. And Virgo is the opposite sign of your Pisces moon.
Okay.
And Saturn is serious. Saturn could be heavy. All right? So if you've been feeling depressed, all right?
Yes. Heavy. Yes.
Right. And what? Because the moon has to do with mom again. There might be issues that you're working through right now with your mother. All right. And your mother doesn't have to be there. You know. I mean, these are all subconscious stuff that's coming up. At the same time, Elaine, the planet Uranus and Jupiter are in Pisces. All right. Right in Pisces, so they're sitting on the moon. What's taking place in you subconsciously is, I think, that you're feeling pulled apart, all right? Because what's taking place is all the old subconscious patterns, or being, you know. Let me ask you this, before I say being something. How is sleep lately? You've been sleeping?
Heavy. Sleeping a lot.
Yes.
A lot more than normal,
Right.
and feeling like I'm usually very happy and light in my body, and I'm feeling very lethargic and sleeping a
Yep,
lot.
that's the effect of Saturn has, all right? And so what's taking place is that Saturn is you're going to sleep, so the other planet, Uranus and Jupiter, are breaking up subconscious patterns in your sleep that if you were aware of, you were conscious of, you wouldn't even deal with. So when
Right.
you're sleeping, you're working a lot.
Yeah, makes some sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I would just really, this is your assignment should you choose to accept it, right? Is sleep, rest, take your time about this. This is a major transit you're going through. You know, you won't go through this again in your life.
Yeah, I hope not. It's
No.
heavy.
Yeah, it
I
is
hope
heavy. It
Thank
is
you.
heavy
Thank
because one side is depressing you and the other side is like coming in there and saying, no, we got to change this.
That's interesting because one side of my body is totally affected, and the other side feels fine. So it's like one, you know, it's like I can really feel that, and it was very interesting. And I want to, you know, let you go. Thank you very much. I just want to say that my mother, her nickname in her email is Moon Lady, and
Wow.
her moon's in Leo, I think. I'm pretty sure, but she has been affected by the moon her whole life, and all she talks about is the moon. And
Moon.
so
Yeah.
all four of her kids, every time there's a full moon, we call her. You know, just to say, Mom, have you seen the moon tonight? So it's like, that's pretty cool.
One thing before you go, having that moon in Pisces, you don't have to save everybody. All right?
All right.
You don't have to worry about everybody and feel their emotions and everything. It's like take time out for you, close the door, close the window, do whatever you want to do and spend it by yourself.
Thanks, Brian.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Okie doke.
All
Bye-bye.
right, have a great night. Thanks.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
sweetie.
Get to the call.
What do we have?
I'm getting to them right now.
Okay, we got.
We're going to call Pam right now.
Yeah, I just wanted to see. I'll give you. The moon is at 19 degrees Leo, all right, and the sun is in Taurus. So where we're all going to feel this a little bit. We're all going to feel a little bit tension, and that's how we feel, especially since Mercury is in Taurus in the process of this. So we were we were talking about the mother, the vibrations of the mother and the moon sign. And what I will do, I've got to look at the clock, what I want to do is go down the moon signs, you know, and I don't know if you know your moon sign or whatever, you know, but it's, I'll go down, I'll just run the course of them. It's, I'll go down, I'll just run the course of them. Do we have somebody?
You have Pam now.
Hi, Pam, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. We have another Aquarius, huh?
Another Aquarius with a Pisces moon.
Another Aquarius. Wow, I don't even have to pull your chart up too much. All right. Do you know your rising sign?
Capricorn.
Okay.
And I also have a question about that.
Okay.
My question is that my Capricorn rising is 2.5 degree.
Okay.
My husband's is 3.
Capricorn rising as well?
Yes.
Okay.
And I know that an eclipse is coming up. That's going to be on the 4th degree.
Okay.
Plus we have that Pluto.
Pluto, yep, at 5, yep.
Yeah, so I'm very curious about those energies.
Oh, okay.
And my moon.
And your moon. All right. What I'm going to suggest, yes, you both are going through extremely powerful times. Only once. This is only going to happen to you once, and it doesn't happen to everybody. So it really is significant. When Pluto goes into that first house, all right, it really changes somebody's power structure. It could throw them into a self-identity crisis, wanting to know, you know, more and more about who they are. What I have found, though, especially with what's coming up, the eclipse coming in the process, and this might sound really shallow, but it's the best thing that I could suggest to you, is allow the transformation, be willing to go through whatever the transformations that you're going to go through.
Okay.
It's accept what's going on, because planets aren't there to hurt us. And that's one thing that, you know, I look at planets as being tools, all right? And we could pick up a hammer, and the hammer could be on the table. You could pick up the hammer, and you could hit yourself in the head with it, or you could take the hammer, and you could build a house. Pluto's like that as well. Saturn's like that, etc. And what we want to do is be open to the highest good of that planet to us. What I have found is when people resist the changes that they're going to go through is when they have difficulty going through this whole thing. I would look at this, and for the both of you, and it's really, I was talking about the moon being a very powerful influence. What I have seen, and you can find this in books, you've been with your husband how long?
25 years.
Yeah. What I have seen, not written, what I've observed in life, when the ascendant, when the rising signs are compatible, then things really work well. And your rising sign are just about at the same degree. So all the issues in your life, I'm not saying you operate them the same, because he might not be an Aquarius with a moon in Pisces, all right? But the underlying value of every issue is pretty similar. All right, and that's why the take was for so long. So I would just, my sun is a 4-degree in Capricorn. All right, and Pluto's sitting at 5. It's going to go back over it a couple times. And how I'm looking at it is I am very willing and open to step into any transformation I need for my higher good.
Okay.
You know, and just let it do it with you. The moon in Pisces, see, the Capricorn rising, if we could just talk about that for a second, it makes your self-image serious. Okay, you guys are worker bees, right?
Yeah.
Right? It's important, and Capricorn does that. And what I'm going to suggest to you is to look at the light side, make life easier, feel like it's going to be easier in the process. With that moon in Pisces, one of the really positive things about a moon in Pisces is that you really could draw to you, because Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and Neptune rules imagination. You have a wonderful power of imagination to draw to you what you want. Remember, the moon is the receptive body of the sun. It's a feminine receptor, and Aquarius is a magnetic field. So part of you, the sun part of you, is the magnetic field that sends the energy out, and the moon in Pisces is the receptor field that allows you to receive it. Make sense to you?
Yes, I can see where that has happened in my life in the past.
Yeah. And now you want to be intentionally and proactively in control of those energies, especially with Pluto going into that first house. I have seen people's lives change dramatically for the better when that goes in there.
I think I just had the aha moment.
Just now?
Yeah, by what you said about the moon and the transformation. I mean, that's what I've been working on
Yes.
for myself this past year.
And you, like Elaine, are going through that transit. If you're sleeping a lot, I'm not surprised at that, right? Saturn is in Virgo, and it's making its tugs. You're really going through a major, you yourself, I don't know about your husband, but with that moon in Pisces, you have a lot of energy around your moon, you have a lot of energy around your ascendant. And Neptune, by the way, is sitting still around your sun. So use your power of imagination. Use its, if we hear about the law of attraction, I really want to change how we use that term. I really want to call it the law of radiation, because what we radiate out from us, we get. And we can control the radiation. We can't. The only way to control the attraction is to control the radiation. So if we're attracting things that we don't want, our radiation is misguided. And you are really a powerful, attractive field. And Elaine, if you're still out there, you are as well.
Brian.
Yes.
So would it be appropriate to say that basically what they're transforming is their own self-image, correct?
Big time.
Okay. And when you have the moon in Pisces, with the mother being the big issue, especially as females, what they've seen is their image in the form of their mother, right? So if it's opposing their mother, opposing their moon, things are opposing their moon, it would be because they're changing their own image from that of their mother to themselves.
Well, with Pluto coming into the first house, everything is about our self-image. Everything is a reflection and mirrored of our self-image, So when that's changing, even the way we look at mother changes. When somebody has a moon in Pisces, right, generally the mother felt like a victim. Somewhere there's victim energy around mom, all right? Like she had to be a martyr and take care of everybody, and woe is me. And you want to use that Piscean energy in a more positive way. Okay?
Yes.
Any other thing you want to go over?
I think I'm good for now.
Okay. Thank you for calling. Thank you very much.
Hey, Brian, when you say you want to use that Piscean energy in a more positive way, what way is that?
How to use Pisces in general?
In a more positive way.
Ah.
What do you mean by that?
Well,
I have a son with the moon in Pisces, so I'm curious to know how to help him with that.
You have a son with the moon in Pisces, and you
My
have
child has a moon in Pisces, which means I was the one being a martyr,
you were the one that was
a victim.
yeah, you weren't feeling.
I wasn't feeling it.
Okay, you weren't.
I didn't know about astrology at the time, nor any consciousness of
Right.
where I was at.
Well, he has a moon in Pisces. He also has a Mercury in Pisces. He also has a Mars in Pisces. So he's a lot of Piscean energy.
That's his fault, not mine. I'm just teasing. There's no faults here.
Actually, it's his soul's choice.
I know
You're
that.
absolutely
I'm just
right.
playing.
But to use that moon in Pisces, what he is, when somebody has a moon in Pisces, they need a lot of downtime to process a lot of emotions, and to use every sign has a positive and a shadow side to this side. So a moon in Pisces can be a victim, all right? It could be emotionally a victim, and it's got to take care of everybody. But the upside of the moon in Pisces, it's a very compassionate, a very loving, a very giving energy, and it's also ruled by Neptune, which you will be able to, your subconscious, by what you imagine internally, really more than a lot of signs could bring it to you.
Okay, so when you're telling people to use their Pisces energy in a more positive fashion, you're just saying stay in your compassionate self, stay in your loving self.
Yeah, like stay in your
try
loving
to
self.
see things as blessings as opposed to...
There's a difference between being compassionate with someone and feeling obligated to save them.
Okay, good. Yeah.
You don't have to, with your moon in Pisces, you've seen when he's gone into the toilet, so to speak, when you try to save him, right, he gets more into the toilet. But when you leave him alone, he comes out of it.
Right, right. And I'm actually thinking about them more than I am about Sage and I. I was thinking about the women that we've just talked to, about how they can use that more.
Being compassionate and setting a boundary between.
That's what I was thinking was the boundary was important.
It's an absolute setting of the boundary in the processes of it.
Cool.
Okay?
Yeah, do you want to keep going? Do you want me to get another caller for?
Okay.
Yeah, do you want to keep going? Do you want me to get another caller for a minute?
Well, if you got one, we'll take it.
I can get a hold of him while you talk.
Hold up just a bit, okay? What I want to do quickly is go through the moon signs, all right? And you might not know your moon sign, but if you ever look it up, at least it'll give you some information, and you could get a hold of me about your moon signs as well. If you were born and your moon sign is Aries, all right, you're very quick to emotions. People who have moons in Aries, my daughter has a moon in Aries, her emotions are lightning speed, all right, but they don't stay. They come, they go. They come, they go. I call her a firecracker. It goes on and it goes off. So they could get mad, and in a couple of minutes, they're okay. They're good to go. Or they could get excited. In a couple of minutes, they calm down. So it has a different flavor. Generally, with a moon in Aries, the mother worked. The mother was a worker. The mother had more focus on doing her job than she wasn't the most maternal or nurturing of instincts of a mother. All right. Then we go to a moon in Taurus. Interesting about Taurus rules value, and people with a moon sign in Taurus truly have more of an instinct and more of a subconscious knowing of what value is, and their emotional security is based upon acquiring things, having things, being secure financially, all right, is where they want to be. A moon in Gemini really processes their emotion through their head, through their mind, all right? So just like I said earlier, if I ask you how you feel, all right, you go to your head, the person goes to the head. So the emotional quadrant in Gemini is very bright, very quick, and they feel emotionally secure by having knowledge and learning more and learning more. And also a moon in Gemini is generally a little bit difficult to pin down because the emotional security is based upon Gemini's freedom of movement. A moon in Cancer, moon sign in Cancer, is the rulership for that. And so when somebody has a moon in Cancer, if you do, very powerful emotions, very psychic emotions, very mothering qualities. Your mother was a nurturing, loving, mom. And this is all, I don't want to make blanket statements because there could be other things affecting it, but generally when somebody has a moon in Cancer, they they really have a nurturing quality that goes about them. A moon in Leo. If you got a moon in Leo, the Leo sign, Leo is a royalty. Think of the king and the queen and etc. And when somebody has a subconscious, a moon, which is the subconscious, they really have a regal sense of continence about them. They really feel within themselves that there's something very good innately within them. And they have a pretty good ego structure. If you get somebody mad with a moon in Leo, if you step on their pride, for instance, boy, the hot Leo sun, that's in August, but the energy of the Leo is ruled by the sun, it'll turn on you and be very cold. It'll just shut down completely in the whole process. We have a caller. We have Dan. I want to just make a note to see where we left off. Dan, are you there?
I sure am, yes, sir.
Can you talk a little bit more into the phone? We could just about hear you.
I sure can, yeah.
There you
Can
go.
you hear me now?
Now I hear you.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I had my phone turned up too high.
Okay. So I'm going to run we have a lot of Aquarian people calling in.
I know, wow.
Lots.
Because it's the age.
Age of Aquarius, hey.
Oh, and what did I just do here again? It's Mercury retrograde, and I am hitting the wrong buttons on the computer again.
The whole day's been kind of like that. I'm laughing.
Now, I pulled it up. I saved this one, George. I got it.
You do?
I pulled it up. Boy,
Cool.
I feel... Mercury retrograde is really a... You know, we could say, oh, Mercury retrograde and laugh at it, but my God, it really...
I know my phone cut off 6 times a day. Our cars. I'm just laughing.
Brian's
You were ready.
Our geek astrologer here, isn't he? He's able to get this computer working good.
I be a geek.
You all have such great shows. I'm really enjoying the heck out of it.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you to George.
He is pretty cool, isn't he?
Big time.
We'll keep George.
George, by the way.
He doesn't know we're talking about him. He
George
left to get
Lewis
coffee.
here is the founder and the brains behind the Spiritual Broadcast Network.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And it's the Spiritual Broadcast Network is growing very, very fast. We're going to be in our own studio before we know it. The new studio, the largest studio, with it's going to be really good, and you're really going to see a lot of wonderful things going on.
Yeah. I'm excited about that. That's great.
We're excited too.
Yeah.
17th. February 17th is a very potent day. Every person that I've ever met that had February 17th as a birthday, no matter what the year, was a very potent individual. And what I want to look at, I'm just pulling yours up now, and I want to see what your moon sign is, because that's what we're talking about.
I'm a little scared to find out any of this.
You know, Dan, I'm laughing because I dated a guy for 3.5 years in college named Dan who was born on February 17th.
Is that right?
And I had a business partner for years, and he was born on February 17th.
Wow.
And he was a dynamic guy, and Michael Jordan was born on February 17th.
He was Leanne's old boy.
We all heard
I'm not
that.
touching that.
George, the Spiritual Broadcasting Network, just went off the air.
That was a ghost of... No.
Okay.
Dan, you have. Let me hold on a sec, because I want to get this. I want to work with the
I couldn't have
computer.
said that was good or bad. I didn't make a remark.
What, no. What
Well,
did I-
I'm sitting there thinking if Michael Jordan had been his name, I certainly wouldn't be here right now. Maybe I would.
Oh gosh.
Just bear with me.
I might be broadcasting from my home in Fiji. But
Is that what you said?
yeah, I said I might be if the Michael Jordan we're discussing. I
Right.
might be broadcasting from my home in Fiji.
Fiji's pretty.
Yeah.
And then go in for a dip.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we still might be broadcasting from Fiji.
It's always helpful.
You know, that's what I get for calling in too late.
You didn't call in too late. You're perfect. You got a full 12 minutes. It looks like going here, or at least you can't have the whole 12 minutes, Dan. But 8 of them or
Right.
something.
Okay, Dan, you have a moon in Taurus. All right.
I do. Huh?
That's where your moon is in Taurus, and that's what I was just talking about. I'm just looking through a number of things to getting to know you a little bit, feeling your energy in the process of this.
My dad was born a Taurus, sun sign.
I'm sorry to give you some little bit of dead space times, but I'm just looking at this and feeling it. You're I really want to tell you this. You have a permeable ego structure. And what does that mean? It means you're a very sensitive spiritual person, all right? And you feel vibrations very acutely. And how you feel emotionally secure, that's the moon in Taurus, right, is by having things that you could, that are steady influence in your life, right? Now, there's a little bit of conflict between that Aquarius and that moon in Taurus, because the Aquarian energy wants to be free,
Right.
and the moon in Taurus is an acquirer. So it's like you're loading up your covered wagon in one way, and in another way you want to grow across the country. And you could make life a whole lot simpler if you just take some of the stuff, the old baggage, the old stuff, and get it out of the covered wagon. You're a Capricorn rising. So was the lady that just called. Was Pam and her husband.
Now, what is it? The Capricorn rising.
That's your rising sign. I'll just give you don't have to
Okay.
learn about it. What you
later.
do? Yes, it's a process. Is you were born old. Okay. You were born old.
Good.
You know, you felt like an old soul. You are an old soul right off the get-go. What you have to learn, like so many people, you're a very loving guy, but you have to learn to love yourself.
Okay.
You'll give away love. I don't mean give it away, but you're very apt to share your love, and you have to be able to come back and be able to have it. And I know I'm jumping all around in this place.
It's fine.
All right. Trust your intuition. Your moon, the moon sign is squaring your Mercury. All right. And when you're feeling something, don't override it with your thinking mind.
I had a feeling that was the case.
Don't. You got to go with that intuitive sense.
It's in the what?
I'm sorry.
The moon sign is in the what?
The moon sign is in the sign of Taurus.
Oh, I thought you just said something else.
No, I said
Okay.
it's your moon sign is squaring Mercury.
And he said you needed to go with your intuitive sense.
Okay.
All right. It's a very important thing for you.
The moon sign is squaring Taurus. That's very
No, your moon sign is in Taurus.
Oh, I said it wrong. Mercury is squaring Taurus.
Mercury is squaring Taurus. So anyway, your Mercury, your thought process, your reasoning mind, your logical mind, right, is squaring. That's a challenge. Is challenging your intuition.
Right.
And what I know for sure for doing this, is you want to trust your intuition and override the Mercury, override your thinking mind.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And
this tells me a lot about what was going on at my birth time, too, that I've already found out to be
Yes.
true.
you know what, Dan, too, you wouldn't have a chart that was set up that you wanted to, with a challenge there, if you weren't wanting to override it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay,
totally
that was the whole plan, was that
Oh.
you would set yourself up so that you would get to a point where if you didn't do it with ease, you would be so frustrated you made yourself do it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and whatever challenges are, that's what we learn. That's how we grow in the process.
I come out on the other side fine. It's the going through it that seems to be so weirded out.
Well, that's everybody.
Okay.
Everybody goes through. When the caterpillar's going through becoming a butterfly, it doesn't know what the hell's going on with it, right?
I bet.
But then when the butterfly's the butterfly, it forgets that it was a caterpillar.
Wow.
At least that's what the caterpillars say I talked to.
Yeah.
Forgot all about me.
Yeah. All right, Dan?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so
Good
much.
night.
Do we have another caller?
No, sweetie,
Okay.
I think you're free to fly.
8 minutes.
All right, we got 8 minutes to wrap this ball up. I want to go back to the moon signs in Virgo, and moon sign in Virgo. When you're born and you have a moon in Virgo, your mother was very particular, a micromanaging kind of mother, all right? And from an emotional point of view, if your moon is in Virgo, in order for you to feel emotionally secure within yourself, you have to have things at least perfect in your way. They have to be according to your perfection, right, working for you. And I'll tell you, with the moon in Virgo, give yourself some slack, all right? It's never going to happen, because what you'll do, if you think it's perfect and whatever it is perfect, you got it, you could be so emotionally critical of yourself that perfect's not even good enough. You try to make it a little bit better, all right? So with the moon in Virgo, intuitively, you know what's right, the order, the systems. So just listen to that within yourself. The moon in Libra. Somebody has a moon in Libra is a lover, all right? Libra is the loving sign. It's the relationship sign of the zodiac. A Libra moon does not like to fight. A Libra moon's emotionally secure when it's peace, when it's harmonious, when everything is just balanced, it's beautiful, and that's when the Libra moon is emotionally secure. Funny thing about a Libra moon, though, it's a scale of justice. So if you keep pushing a Libra moon and pushing a Libra moon, and a Libra person keeps keeping the peace, eventually that Libra moon comes back in balance, and it's a warlord. All right. The Libra energy, it's very interesting to me that Hitler had a Libra energy on his chart, and they brought in Churchill, who had Libra energy in the exact placement of Hitler to balance it out.
Wow.
It's very cool. There's a lot of stuff astrology really has a very strong history with. We go to a moon in Scorpio. And Scorpio moons are deep and passionate, and they hide their emotions, and they don't, like a moon in Aries will wear its emotion on its sleeve, so to speak. A moon in Scorpio, you might not know what's going on with a moon in Scorpio's emotions, right? Think of the Everglades. And the Everglades, if you go down there on a day that's nice and sunny, the birds are chirping and the flowers are blooming and everything. But below the murky water, you don't know what's going on. So a lot of times, somebody who has a moon in Scorpio hides so secretly and quietly what's going inside, but the intensity is there. It's a very, very powerful moon, because when they let out that emotion, it really spreads. When somebody has a moon in Scorpio and they start to let out some of that emotion, everybody knows whether they're mad, whether they're happy, whether they're sad, or whatever the process is. Moon in Sagittarius, we got a few, and we got about 5 minutes to do this. The moon in Sagittarius to me is a happy moon. Generally, what I say to people, their emotional security depends upon things, this might sound funny, but being happy around them. Right? When people are happy, when life is happy, they feel really, really good. Really wonderful thing about a moon in Sagittarius is no matter how much caca hits the fan, the moon in Sagittarius, excuse me, always finds a way to rally, always finds the spirit within them to think positive and optimistic thoughts. Moon in Capricorns. Moon in Capricorns are generally serious people. All right. The mom was generally a worker. The mom had a lot of obligations. The mom didn't, the moon in Capricorn's mother didn't raise children. The moon in Capricorn's mother raised adults. So you had chores, you had to sign stuff, you had to do everything with the process. So you grow up emotionally thinking life is a task. All right. But if you want a moon in if you want something done, give it to somebody who has a moon in Capricorn. The moon in Aquarius. The moon in Aquarius energy is, think of Aquarian energy, it's always on the cutting edge of things. Aquarians dance to the beat of a different drummer. And when somebody has an emotional Aquarian energy, it's like Aquarius again is an air sign. So somebody who has an emotional energy in an air sign really has a thinking emotional process and not really a feeling emotional process. And a moon in Aquarius needs a little bit of space and freedom, but they're friendly. They're the best friends you could ever make with somebody with a moon in Aquarius. And the last one is a moon in Pisces. All right. And the moon, we've had a number of moons in Pisces today. And the moon in Pisces is a water sign. Pisces is a water sign. So the deep emotional intensity of a Pisces, and it's a mutable sign. So if we go back to your son, Leanne, who has a moon in Pisces, Pisces is I liken the Pisces water to a stream up in North Carolina, river. It flows around the rocks and it goes around the banks and it changes its energies, etc. So whatever the moon in Pisces is, just stay with her for a little while and it's going to change. It's very mutable. I've seen one of the things, and this is kind of a this is a visual and a half, but I liken the water, the Piscean water sign, as the water in the toilet bowl. And I've watched Piscean people have, the water in the toilet bowl just sits there, doesn't go anywhere till you flush it. But as soon as you flush it, the water goes woof down the toilet. And I've watched moons in Pisces. People, something struck them, whatever it was, from an emotional point of view, and it's like somebody flushed the toilet and their emotions went down. Give them a little bit of time, and like the toilet, it'll rise back up and come up to it. So we have all these moons, and they're all interacting every day with us. And we have a minute left. So If you got questions and you want to ask me, get a hold of me at bhwhale@yahoo.com. We're here every Sunday, every Thursday night at 9 o'clock. All right, I'm here at 9 o'clock. Leanne has her show at 7:30. My Mom Talks to Dead People, which is an absolutely amazing walk in higher consciousness. Tonight's show that she did was over the top. It was really good. I want to talk just quickly about the upside of you. All right, stay on the upside of you. Don't be on the downside of you. If you're feeling emotionally down, realize that you could switch that emotion. We were talking about that on her show earlier. We have control over the emotions. The moon is the body of the emotion. The moon is the body of the subconscious. It holds tremendous power. So when you're feeling not so happy, turn that power and start to feel on the upside of you. And we're here every Thursday night at 9 o'clock.